Good morning, millennials.
Welcome back to The Toast and happy Tuesday. That actually feels like it feels like a Saturday.
Because we're celebrating, bitch.
We took the words right out of my mouth, Swirly.
Yes, we're celebrating. Sound of ours. We haven't even discussed.
We haven't. Yes, there's like two sounds on TikTok that whenever anybody wants to like reference the toast or even acknowledge the toast, they'll use. And it's Happy Thursday. That feels like a Friday because we're fucking celebrating, bitch. Hey, there's kids that listen with their kids in the car. You yelling at me. That's the first. And then the other is like another random. It's not our best moments. I don't think that it really reflects the brand well.
Oh, I think it reflects
like as good as it could.
The brand, but like if I were sitting down, like I would just clip everything. So
I think that everything we do is the greatest thing on the planet. Like
everything
it's so
we
true.
do is a moment. That right there.
So true.
You can make that
moment. Well, today is a day that feels like a Saturday because Jackie and I have been like annoyingly teasing for a little while. We were able to book an amazing guest who asked us to hold the episode for a month and asking us to hold. And this was kind of like the season of holding things in. I couldn't tell anyone I was pregnant. I couldn't tell anyone that Keke Palmer was coming on the toast. Jackie and I have a list. And actually, we kind of need to update the list of like true dream guests. Obviously, like a little like out of our depth, out of our league a little bit. And Keke Palmer was added to that list a little while ago, and she is the first person to officially make it off the list. And I feel like once you start taking people off the list, like it's a slippery slope.
Claudia,
like, others
she's
just start
also
sliding off.
The first person on the list. She's not just on the list. Wow. Like the list.
Oh, so she inspired the list
with her. So I'm not taking her off. I'm putting a check mark.
Love that.
So that we can remember that our dreams were realized.
And so that episode is this episode. It'll be the second half of today's episode. We sat down with Keke. She has a new book coming out, and it was like really very much at a glance of her life and her career, which we wanted to talk to her about anyway. There's so many projects, True Jackson VP, Scream Queens, Aquila and the Bee, that means so much to us. And she's my favorite type of celebrity in the sense that she is not shy about talking about the things that made her famous. I think a lot of the times, especially when you're a child actor, you don't want to talk about the project that everybody knew you from, True Jackson VP. You want to talk about your new project. And she was so cool about like talking about everything. And she's just one of us. Like she's a mom, she's 31. So like I just felt real, and not my child literally meeting Keke Palmer.
Literally.
Things my child has done, not.
No, it was so much fun. I'm so excited for everyone to listen to it. And I feel like we could have been so much more annoying, like teasing it. And we really kept it in our pants. Yeah,
we really did. It's also, I just watched it the other day. Such a good episode. She was making us cackle.
Yeah.
Like, it's a little scary to meet someone like you really idolize and who's like, for me, my favorite thing about Keke is not her projects, it's her personality. Like when she's doing it, my favorite types of videos to watch are Keke just being Keke.
Right.
And it's a little daunting because like, what if they're like a miserable person and it's all for show? She was hysterical, like exactly what you would hope your fave would be. Trust your faves.
Trust your faves, but that's also why she's a dream guest, because of her as a person, like not just her characters, which it's like, that's not her.
It's we were really able to just like chat. I didn't even look down at my notes.
Yeah, it was really fun. So I'm excited for everyone to listen. It'll be at the end of this episode, which is sure to be poppin'.
It's going to be video and audio. So if you're watching on YouTube or listening as a podcast. Oh, speaking of, you know what I found out today?
What?
Do you know that like if you go on Spotify, like to a random episode, every episode of like a podcast, there's a comment section on Spotify.
Oh God.
I know. And no. And by the way, it's like people who really listen. They're oh my God.
That's the beauteous thing about Spotify is you can't even rate a show, give it 5 stars, if they see that you haven't listened to it. So you can't just like spam it with 1 star. So you would have to take the time to listen to it. And then by then you would obviously fall in love. So I actually really like their processes.
And I love to get feedback on an episode from people who actually listen to it, you know? And so I didn't know that Spotify had comment sections. So I was like reading, and then I'm like nosy. I went to other people's podcasts because I think it's a good way to see engagement, you know? Like how many comments are you getting versus other people? And we'll chat offline about some of the things that I found. Oh my gosh,
this is my favorite subject matter.
Yeah, like hyping ourselves up, comparing ourselves to everyone.
No, it's my favorite subject matter, like to talk with you offline, like, you know, the charts. Where we're at a glance.
Yeah.
Good times.
I have to say, yesterday's episode was just like cathartic and amazing. And I am so excited. And I was excited before, but like seeing other people be so excited for you, like it makes you so excited.
Yeah. How are you feeling?
Not that I wasn't before.
How are you feeling today now that you can just like talk about yourself openly?
You know what? Not to be like, you know, classic hormonal mood swing woman. Like I have I feel a little conflicted about like sharing the journey. Like I have such a pit sometimes when I'm like, oh, I feel like I share too much, like evil eye, like I don't know, like too soon, too much. I don't know. It gave me like a pit. And then sometimes I'm like, I'm so glad I shared. Everyone is like loving everything I do and say. Like they're saying I'm so real for that. Like I don't know. I'm really I toe the line between like I'm not talking about this enough and I'm talking about this too much.
Yeah, that's fair.
So I don't know. I'll just
So are you going back today?
No, I'll just go in waves. If I ever some days like sound like I'm being demure, that's what's going on in my brain.
Got it. Or maybe you just like don't have an update.
Well, I do actually, because I went to the doctor yesterday. New sonogram pics just dropped. It was so sick. Like with each like ultrasound, like you get so much more. Like I saw brain yesterday. Like okay, pop off brain, big brain, and I saw nose. Like it was so cute, and baby was upside down. So the ultrasound tech was like jiggling my stomach just to be like, hey babe, wake up. Around. Yeah, and then I had to like walk around the office and have an orange juice, and that worked. But the jiggling like of the thing, like that wasn't cool.
Not
like,
your favorite?
My stomach doesn't need help jiggling, and then like for the ultrasound thing to be like jiggle, 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 just to, like wake baby up, that I felt was unnecessary.
We can skip that next time.
Yeah, she was like, next time, like clearly you respond to sugar. She's like, have you eaten? I was like, okay, I'm so skinny. I'm like, yeah, I literally had Chinese food right before I got here. She was like, try and have some sugar. Baby responds well to sugar.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I saw Dr. Fox, and I just love his calm approach, you know, like so chill. I was like, Dr. Fox, Olivia Oshry was screaming at me for sleeping on my stomach. And I think it's like annoying when I come in. I'm like, my sister said this. I'm like, Jackie said this.
Well, I feel like I'm pretty aligned with Dr. I don't think we're so incongruous in our advice.
I wonder if he finds it annoying. I'm like, my sister said this.
Oh, I feel like what a doctor would find more annoying is like, Google said this.
Yeah. Well, I just said, like, my sister Olivia, like, was yelling at me because she found out I've been sleeping on my stomach. And, like, I know you can't sleep on your stomach at a certain point, but until then, like, I'm chilled to do it, right?
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, it's, like, literally, if you could at 9 months, it's not bad for the baby. You just can't.
It's just uncomfortable.
But at this point in time, like, I'm not feeling anything, and I love sleeping on my stomach. So he said it's totally fine.
Yeah.
Then I got a little bit of a pit. I'm like, am I taking too many baths? And he was like, that's not a thing.
Oh my God. In my first pregnancy, I would like literally get out my thermometer and make sure that the water wasn't over 104, 102. What is it?
By the way, literally
using my
me.
meat thermometer in the tub.
Oh no. So I bought a thermometer on Amazon, and like, I guess the only people who are testing bath temperature are babies. So like, I couldn't find one that wasn't like Elmo. I have like a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle thermometer. I was like, where's just like a thermometer? Yeah. And I guess like they don't make adult. Why would anyone
your meat thermometer?
I didn't think about that. No, I have like a little turtle one.
Yeah, what's the temperature you can't go over?
Like 105. But the thing that Dr. Fox was saying is like the difference is like a hot tub is constantly being heated,
right?
And it has like so many other chemicals. Like a bath, as soon as you get in it, it starts dropping.
It's
like
true.
It's not. He was so not worried, and I just love his very calm approach to everything. Like, it just, I've never said something to him, and he's been like, you know, he's just like, you're fine. He's very chill. He's not easily startled.
That's funny. Well, that's great.
Yeah, it was, and then like I cleared my whole day after the doctor because there's like fabulous restaurants near the doctor's office, and Ben was like, I have a call. I'm like, what?
No,
we're not going to lunch. He was like, he didn't take off the whole afternoon for our appointment, which I thought like we were both in alignment on. We can go to Zabar's. Like, I don't know. It was kind of disgusting.
Did you pick stuff up from the market?
No, I literally like went straight in the car and went straight home. Like I was grounded.
You didn't go by Turd Self?
No, we drove and I needed a lift home.
He could have waited in the car and taken his call while you went to the market. Well, you went marketing.
It was so crazy. And we made our next 3 appointments like with the maitre d'. What's the word?
Receptionist?
Receptionist. Excuse me. Yes, not the maitre d'.
Food on the brain.
And we made them all at the same time. They're all like at like 3 o'clock. And I'm like, clear schedule, bitch. Like it's dinner after that.
Yeah, or lunch first.
Yeah, like
late lunch, appointment, early dinner.
So that was like disappointing from Ben. But other than that, I'm doing well. I'm just like lapping up every nice comment and lovely text message. Oh, you know, I shared this on my close friends yesterday because I thought it was kind of mean to post like regular, but I'm going to say it anyway. Something I'm noticing from like people I know personally, because people online are being like so sweet, like can't wait to be like toasty aunties, like yeah, love, 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 and all my tostadas are like tia, 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 love that. But like people in my life who like I barely know being like can't wait to be an auntie. Excuse me.
Do you have some news to share?
No, I'm like, are you talking to me? Like, I think
need to know who you're talking about, though.
I'll tell you after. I think we use the word like auntie and uncle with people we know. I think we use it like a little too familiarly. Like, and I'm not talking about like people on the internet. I think that's actually really sweet, like toasty aunties. But like in real life, like, can't wait to be an auntie. Like, you're not even gonna meet this child. Go away.
No, people are a little fast and loose with it. It's not really like something that I like if I'm introducing a friend, like I'm not like, this is Aunt Dana. But I actually think Dana does call herself Aunt Dana. So then I have like started saying it, but it's never my idea.
Yeah, no, I think that's fine. Like, and I actually think the concept is sweet with people in your life who are like siblings to you.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like with Brian's child, he calls all of us like uncle, Aunt Claudia. Like, I love that.
Yeah. No, there's
symbolic
a limit.
aunt.
I'm sorry. There's got to be a limit. Like,
it's an inner circle
your kid's
thing.
Gonna be so confused.
Jackie, it's an inner circle thing.
Extremely inner circle. Nucleus.
No, I'm just being like a hater bitch, but like I'm allowed to.
No,
you know?
I think at a certain point, like it gets confusing for the child. And then like auntie means nothing. And then that affects cogers. It affects auntie cogers if she's just like all these other aunties.
And I'm so glad I can just finally like share and like lean into what my really like my routine is, because sitting here pretending like I did anything last night would just be a lie. And my new routine is like I eat dinner about 5 o'clock, and then 7 o'clock is Jeopardy, and it's become like an integral part of my day because it's really the last thing I do before bed. 7 to 7:30. Well, usually I start like 7:15, so I don't have to watch commercials. 7:15 to 7:45 Jeopardy, and then I like mosey on my phone for 20 minutes, and then I go to bed. I went to bed at 8:15 last night. And I'm just like loving this sort of senior moment I'm having.
Senior moment.
Like I was on FaceTime with you. It was 5 o'clock and I hadn't like made dinner plans yet. And you guys, I was laying down. I thought I was going to faint. Like I was so hungry. Everything is just moved up. So 5 o'clock dinner, 7 o'clock Jeopardy, 8 o'clock bed.
But that's also like the season. I'm sorry, but daylight savings is ass. Like it's seriously ruining my life.
Oh my God. It's so crazy. Like I'm looking at bed. I cannot stop yawning. Seriously, last night, it could have been midnight. I look at the clock, 5:56.
Sunday, 2 days ago, was the longest day in human history. Like we're so tired. It's dark. It's 4:30.
And I know DLS is kind of getting political. There's a couple of states. Actually, I think there's only a few states
Claudia,
who won't
it's a
participate.
bipartisan issue. I just want to say. So that is totally safe.
I was Googling it. I think Marco Rubio is like really spearheading the issue, being like, we don't need this. And then some states are like, we do. And I understand. I think like part of it is like, it has to do with like farmers.
The farmers.
And they need the light. So I'll do what the farmers need, but just know like I'm hating every minute.
Yeah. No, I think there was a time and a place for it, but now it's really disruptive. There's studies
because we have these things like called lights.
Right. There's studies out there that it causes heart attacks. And honestly, like I see how that's possible.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So it's really been such a damper. And I remember in the spring, I was on the show talking about how daylight savings, like, you know, it flipped back.
Yes, I remember.
And I was like raving about my days and my nights, how we're just in like such a great routine. This is so amazing. This is so exciting. And like now I'm really experiencing like the inverse, and it's not right.
It ain't right.
So just something to think about for everyone.
I do fear that we have to get into what needs to get into because we have a lot to handle today, including one, you know, Keke Palmer's first name is really Lauren.
I think I did know that.
Yeah, just fun fact, only the super fans know.
Yeah, super fans. And also, I feel like we skipped over like a big part of her interview, which is that she has a book coming out this week, and it's not called Memoirs of a Keke, but it is called Master of Me. So if you're like a celebrity memoir swirly, and we didn't even brag that we got an early copy. So actually, we did. When we were reading that story last week about what happened on the set of Scream Queens with Ryan Murphy, you guys, I already knew it because I read it.
Yeah, I agree. It was hard. Do you think by the way, we really could be actresses. We've been lying to everyone for like months. Yeah.
So I just want you to know, like, I already
We knew. We're like people who like leave a comment. Oh, so glad we can finally share the news. There were so many comments like that, like not to be annoying. Oh my God, like finally, like girl, I told you 2 days ago, calm down.
Oh my God, LOL. Okay, well,
I'm such a, like in my pregnancy era, it's conversing with my hater era, and it is what it is.
You love to see it.
You do.
Without further ado, here are the Fast 5 stories that you do need to know.
And the Fast 5 stories that you need to know are brought to you by Cotton, the fabric of our lives. The fabric of now is Cotton's new campaign, tapping into the overwhelming lives we all lead. Cotton wants us to take a step back from the chaos and find presence in the moment. We live our lives plugged in, and while we're so focused on capturing the moment, we aren't always living inside of those moments. And so Cotton is asking us to help our listeners take a pause. Of course, after you finish this episode, don't pause this episode. Cotton would never suggest that. And of course, taking a pause, unwinding looks different for everyone. Some people take a pause by going on an afternoon run in the park. They go golfing with their husbands, which is incredibly generous of them. Others unplug. They make sourdough for their family, or they go shopping with friends. Whatever unwinding looks like for you, press pause with Cotton, the natural choice. And of course, you can do these things whilst also wearing cotton. Cotton is natural. It comes from the earth, and because it's natural, it does not contribute to microplastic pollution. Cotton is versatile, it's long-lasting and timeless, and it effortlessly stays at the center of trends while also being gentle on your skin. Cotton is comfortable, it's breathable, it's easy to clean, and it gives you permission to be authentically you. We wear cotton while we work, while we play, and of course, while we unplug, which we are kind of notorious for unwinding in our myriad of ways. So take a second to pause with Cotton, the natural choice. Discover the fabric of now at thefabricofourlives.com. Thank you to Cotton for sponsoring today's episode. Today's episode is also brought to you by iRestore. So iRestore is a new sponsor of ours that Jackie and I have been loving. It's a clinically proven advanced hair growth system designed for women who want to say goodbye to thinning hair and hello to volume. We all know the struggle. Your hairbrush is starting to look like a stuffed animal. Your shower walls are covered in hair, enough to build a wig. I have been through it. When you blow out your hair and then you look at the floor and there's just seriously an entire extension piece on the floor, it's really upsetting. So if you're tired of dealing with thinning hair or hair loss, the iRestore Elite is the most powerful device on the market, packed with 500 lasers and LEDs to provide maximum scalp coverage to help you grow thicker, longer, and healthier hair. It's an FDA cleared product. It's the iRestore Elite that harnesses the power of low-level light therapy, a clinically proven method to regrow thicker and fuller hair in the most non-invasive, pain-free, and drug-free way to bring your hair back to life. The combination of 500 lasers and LEDs ensures that every inch of your scalp receives the light needed to stimulate cellular activity. It boosts blood flow. It can reduce inflammation, which are all crucial elements in reversing hair loss. With the iRestore Elite, you can sit back, relax, and binge watch your favorite show while it works. It's science-backed magic on your scalp. It's going to help you grow thicker, healthier hair naturally with visible results in 3 months. No drugs, no surgeries, just the most advanced technology for real results. And right now it's their biggest sale of the year. If you want to do something about hair loss, it's just the most helpless feeling. I have been there. I know the feeling. And I love the iRestore Elite. For a limited time only, our listeners are getting hundreds of dollars off the iRestore Elite with our exclusive link. Just head to irestorelaser.com/toast. That's IRESTORE laser.com/TOAST. Today's episode is also brought to you by Fatty 15. We're really excited to share with you guys an incredible scientific breakthrough to support our long-term health and wellness. C15, it's the first essential fatty acid to be discovered in 90 years, and studies have confirmed that it's 3 times better, broader, and safer than omega-3. So it's pretty simple. Essential nutrients keep your cells healthy, which keeps you healthy. And if you want to get sciencey about it, studies show that C15 works by strengthening your cells to improve your mitochondrial function, protect against damaging free radicals, and the result is better long-term metabolic, liver, and heart health. So as it ends up, many of us are deficient in C15, which results in weaker cells. That gives you less energy, and just overall, you'll quit working earlier than you should. All of that will make you age faster, sleep poorly, feel sluggish. So if any of this sounds familiar, check out Fatty 15, a science-backed, award-winning vegan and pure C15 supplement. By replenishing your cells that are with that essential C15 nutrient, Fatty 15 is effectively repairing your cells and restoring your long-term health. So there's so many more benefits, 3 times more cellular benefits than omega-3 or a fish oil. Fatty 15 is made from a patented pure and oxidation-resistant C15 powder. It's derived from plants, so it's vegan friendly. It's free of flavors, fillers, allergens, preservatives. It is the only ingredient. C15 is the only ingredient in Fatty 15, which means it's 100% pure. It's going to work in multiple ways. It'll repair age-related damage to cells, protect you from future breakdown. So they're really on a mission at Fatty 15 to replenish your C15 levels and restore your long-term health. You can get an additional 15% off their 90-day subscription starter kit by going to fatty15.com/toast. Use our code TOAST at checkout. That's FATTY15.com/toast. Code TOAST.
Thank you, Code Turt.
What can I say except you're welcome?
Moana 2 drops any day now.
Any day now. I'll be at the theater.
Our first story, the stories are kind of random today. I would say they're all of equal import, so
in no particular order.
In no particular order. However, this one kind of made me chuckle because John Stamos is getting dragged for wearing a bald cap in solidarity with cancer-stricken Dave Coulier. So Dave Coulier...
I want to say it's Coulier.
Coulier announced this week that he has been diagnosed with an aggressive form of cancer. And so John Stamos took to Instagram to share a photo with his friend Dave. They're both from Full House, who was smiling with a freshly shaven head amid his battle with stage 3 non-Hodgkin lymphoma. So then John Stamos posted a picture of them together and said, "Nothing like throwing on a bald cap and flexing some Photoshop skills to show some love and solidarity with my bro." So he put on a bald cap to stand with Dave Coulier. Now,
this is the most Hollywood thing ever. Like,
this is the craziest thing ever. People know, like, when you're someone that you're really close to, like, has to shave their head for cancer, like, it's something that some people do, is to shave their head in solidarity. And it's such a nice gesture.
Oh my God, when I see videos like of people shaving their head and then like their partner who's shaving the head for them will start shaving their own head, like, I guarantee crying. Like, it's the sweetest, most selfless thing. And I imagine it's obviously not the most important thing when you're going through like a life-changing illness, but losing your hair, I think especially as a woman, like, it can be one of the hardest parts. Like, you feel like you lose a piece of your identity. So for your husband or wife or whatever to, like, it's the most beautiful thing for real.
Yeah, it really is. So John Stamos didn't do that. But what he did do is he put on a bald cap to show Dave his love and support.
Now, I want to say, if Dave isn't mad, then I am not either. However, I think we can talk about, like, how really bizarre this is.
Like, I'm not mad, and even if this is offensive, like I'm not the one to say like this is wrong, but this is ridiculous.
I feel like if anything, if I'm Dave in this situation, like, it makes me feel worse, you know, like, is my culture a costume to you?
Like, you get to then take off your cap.
Right. And I do think it's like very on brand with John Stamos. Like, he loves his hair. Uncle Jesse was like the whole thing, like, don't touch my hair. And again, if Dave thinks this is cool, like, I'm cool with it. I'm definitely confused.
No, and I never would expect John Stamos to shave his head.
No.
Period. Like, his hair is like, you know, that's like
Samson.
Giselle's legs. Like, that's his thing.
Yeah.
So it's not expected. But the fact that he like would go to this length to show us that he won't shave his head, like, really puts a flag on it, as opposed to just like posting something nice for his friend Dave. I would have never thought John Stamos should be shaving his head. But now he puts on a bald cap and I'm like, John Stamos should be shaving his head.
Agreed. I never would have expected it. Now that he put the cap on, like, now we said it.
Yeah. Now really all he can do to get out of it is shave his head.
Not only that, and like donate his hair, like auction it off, highest bid goes to cancer research. I want to say, and I don't think we talked about it, like, America's sweetheart, someone who we all grew up with, Dave Coulier, being diagnosed with cancer is so sad. And he's handled the whole thing, you know, as you would expect, like America's comedy sweetheart too, and it's so sad. And so the fact that we're talking about this is like so stupid, but it was an incredibly weird thing for John Stamos to do, and I think that we need to talk about it.
Yeah, and people are talking about it. They're dragging him again. Like, I think it's like mostly innocuous. Like, we don't need to like cancel John Stamos.
No, I think like so that, far it's all in good fun.
People do silly things and they kind of miss the mark. Like, we just got to let him know mark equals missed.
1000%.
That's all this is.
Yeah. It's definitely not what I would have done.
Yeah. And like, nobody asked, you know?
That's
the biggest thing.
And I'm sure that these two are like close, but I don't think they're like brothers.
You don't?
So I never would have, no.
I feel like you have to be like brothers to do this.
To actually shave your head, you have to be like brothers.
I feel like they're like brothers. By the way, I don't follow either of them. I didn't watch like the reboot. But I just feel like, especially with like Bob's passing.
Bob Saget, yeah.
It's like the two of them, and I imagine there's a brotherhood there.
Yeah, no, that's actually a good call. I forgot about the Bob of it all. Well, then in that case, like, if they are brothers, shave your fucking head.
Yeah, or stay quiet.
I love those videos. Like, I think like that and military homecomings, like, seriously.
Military homecomings. Ooh, I haven't watched one in so long because I just like, I can't carve out a day for
my
crying.
My TikTok knows, and like, I'm constantly being served with compilations of like, I love when it's a surprise too.
Of course, and a young child.
Maybe
like at their school.
At their school,
when everybody
always
else's
in the gymnasium.
Parents like came to the event, but they didn't expect their father or mother because they're serving. Then they turn around, bam,
obsessed. So the jury's out on how I think this will affect John Stamos's, like, seriously, his standing in America, because he is like extremely well liked by all different generations, and like, this is a bad look, honestly.
Yeah, and not because
oh my God,
and not because of the bald.
I also want to say, like, just not to make everything about me, total tangent. This has nothing to do with John Stamos, but I was feeling a little hungry and I have a yogurt next to me.
Are you giving yourself license to eat on the podcast?
I will be eating on the podcast. I will not be into my microphone, and I will make sure like nobody hears a lick. But if you see me on YouTube like that, and do you know how many times I've sat here with like a yogurt or a cracker next to me, dying to eat it, but that would be so obvious. So just know, like, please get off my jock. I will not make any sounds. Misophonia, you'll be fine.
You eat your yogurt while I read the text of the stories, okay? So I'm going to go into our next story, which is also very much for Turdy. There's a lot of layers here because Sabrina Carpenter took her short and sweet tour to LA and the stars were out. However,
oh my God, I know.
2 stars that we do need to discuss are Katy Perry and John Mayer was spotted catching up at her concert on Sunday, nearly a decade after calling it quits. So, of course, they arrived separately. They did not come together, but he was sat right behind Katy in the VIP section. And in the video that was shared on Dumois, Katy could be seen turned around and chatting with him for a while. They seemed deep in conversation as they waited for the show to start.
Now, there's 2 things going on here. I'm so glad you brought up Sabrina's concert in LA because I was so happy to see like her really getting her flowers. So many celebrities, Hailey Bieber, Kendall Jenner, like all the swirlies were out. Blue Ivy.
I saw.
Like everyone famous and everyone's famous as kids. Like I love that Sabrina's having this moment. She is so well deserved. So I just wanted to say that before we dive into what actually happened. Now, I saw this video and you guys know like probably one of the happiest times in my life was when John Mayer was dating Katy Perry. I was so invested in their relationship. I thought that they were perfect for one another. When they went to the Grammys and she wore that seafoam dress and he wore that blue, you could add it to the list of Claudia's favorite stories.
It's there.
Like,
it's already there.
It is. Oh my God. And then I saw them in concert at Barclays Center. I saw him in concert at Barclays Center and I just knew he was going to bring her out. They have a song together and he did. Love who you love. So good. Actually, that song's not a great song. But whatever, like I was obsessed with these 2. And I still, for a long time, I think held out a little bit of hope. Although now I actually don't think that they're right for one another.
Yeah.
So to see them be friends, like brought me joy. And I think that like Katy is so moved on in her personal life. I think she's so in love with Orlando Bloom. They have a child together. Like, I don't think she like sits up at night thinking about John Mayer at all. I don't know that John Mayer doesn't.
So here's the thing. I was reading more into this story. And yes, she moved on 1 year after they broke up. But he has not been in a serious relationship since. It seems that he's had a hard time getting over her. In 2017, he released a song called Still Feel Like Your Man, which he admitted was about her. In the song,
my God, I didn't know that.
In the song,
Still feel like your man.
He sings about keeping an ex's shampoo in the shower in case she ever comes back and holding on to old letters because he fears he is, quote, never going to find another person like her.
Oh my God, I don't know if I ever knew that song was about Katy Perry. Obsessed with that for her.
For him, she is the one that got away. But I also feel like he kind of says that about everyone. It's like he won't get serious about any of the girls that he's with, but once they leave, he's like, they were the best thing that ever happened to me. Please come home, I have your shampoo.
True.
Meanwhile, he has like 6 bottles of different shampoo.
He is so toxic. That is so fucking true. But I don't know if I put together that he really hasn't been in like a big public long-term relationship since then. Although I do believe he is like secretly dating Kiernan Shipka for a while, which I think is absolutely disgusting.
Well, speaking of disgusting, that's kind of harsh. But like, what do you think he was doing at Sabrina's show? Like, do you think he has a crush on Sabrina?
Definitely, by the way. I was actually thinking that. I think he like thought like, yeah, why he would be there. That's actually an amazing point.
I think he has a crush on Sabrina. I'm sure Sabrina heard that he's like there at VIP and she's freaking out because it's John Mayer. And I feel like they're going to like go on a date. Maybe we'll never hear about it because it won't work out. But like, I feel like he would be interested in her and I actually think she would be interested in him.
Now let me say this. You guys know I'm like off my John Mayer. I'm like, he's not my crush anymore. Like I'm off my John Mayer obsession.
By the way, and in January he said, people don't think I want to be married. I absolutely want to be married. Like he's looking.
You could, but just to say that doesn't mean it's true. Like we've seen you for 20 years not act that way. Now, I am off my John Mayer shit. Like, I still love him as an artist, but, like, he's no longer my crush. Mm-hmm. Like, honestly, if he asked me out on a date, I would say no. Like, I'm being dead serious. And that's not because I'm, like, with child.
With another man's child.
Yeah, right. That has nothing to do with it. I just, like, I'm so over him. And having said that, I would absolutely love for him and Sabrina to go out on a date, even though it's still so age inappropriate. Yeah. Like, well, how old is she?
She's always a little older than you think she's going to be.
She has Disney, so I always think of her as, like, young.
She's 25. Oh, Fronty's there.
And what is he, 40? He's over 40.
No, to be honest, I wasn't expecting her to be 25. At this point, like, she can make her own choices. He's 47. That's pretty old.
No, I'm sorry. He's disgusting. Okay, and how old is Kiernan Shipka? Because he knows that it's wrong that he dates Kiernan Shipka, so they are never spotted physically together. She's 25.
He likes a 25-year-old.
Every time he is paparazzi'd leaving or going to a restaurant or a bar or a party, she is spotted then leaving or going the same restaurant 10 minutes later. They are 100% seeing each other, and it's been a long time. And like, I just want to say, I think it's disgusting.
But I just want to say, if I'm Kiernan and like that's my man, and he went by himself or with his boys to see Sabrina, another 25-year-old who I know he would be into because she's like a musical genius and adorable, I'd be mad. I don't think they could be together, and he's at the concert. They may have broken up yesterday.
And his music is like, it's not for, her music is not for John Mayer. I'm sorry. Like, seriously, Ariana, what are you doing here? Like, get out.
Yeah.
He's, I've had such a 180 on him. Like, I actually think he's gross.
You think he's yucky? I also, the only reason why I'm not like so against the idea of them going on a date is because of Barry. Like,
she has got to be done with him.
Barry's got to go. Even if John just like shows her that there's something else out there.
Even if John is the vehicle, literally and physically, to get her away from Barry, I'm fine with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, whatever happened to like nice, normal, age-appropriate guys? Like, I can't.
Honey, it's Hollywood.
I know, and I don't want Sabrina getting caught up with, like, I think John Mayer has like a connection to like a really disturbing part of Hollywood, like, because he's been around for so long. I don't want Sabrina a part of it.
I agree.
Stay away from Breener.
Also, this is not a story, but her Netflix trailer for A Nonsense Christmas dropped, revealing tons of special guests. It looks exactly what you think it would look like Gargy-Pargy Christmas, girly sets.
I had like a negative thought when I saw the trailer.
What?
Like, why so many guests? You know, like, I'm here for Breener.
I agree, especially because like the guests don't really do it for me. Of course,
like,
the first name
if it was Taylor Swift.
The first name was
like,
Chaperone.
No, if it was designed for me, maybe I would like it. But like, I don't know. Can anyone just have their moment? Like, this obsession with guests.
I know. Oh my God.
I've
been feeling that way so much. Last night, I actually had I was sat. I was like, I want to watch something. I texted you what's on my content plate. But then I realized I didn't want to watch a show. Like, I don't have the attention span. I just wanted to watch like a cooking show. And I went to Netflix just to search cooking show. And it's all, they don't have one cooking show of just like a woman in the kitchen, or a man, but I prefer a woman, just cooking and talking to me. That's all I wanted. They should add that to their repertoire. But then I went back to that Martha show I was watching. It's just called Martha. But there are so many things that they do with her where they make her have guests on every episode. And I'm like, I don't want to watch Martha teach someone how to cook. I want her to teach me how to cook.
I agree. This obsession with like collaborating and guests, like I don't like it.
No, it's such low hanging fruit. And
Agreed.
You're in a bad place. Not Sabrina. I'm sorry. I'm not talking about Sabrina anymore. I'm talking about like the cooking world. You're in a bad place if that's what you're relying on.
No, but I think like in this day and age, if you want to sell like a show, a podcast, anything, you put together like a deck and you say, we can guarantee, and we're going to have this person's network is filled with Chapel Row. Like, stop. It's just, I want Sabrina.
I want Sabrina. Only Sabrina. So Chapel Row, Tyla, Shania Twain, and then a bunch of like cameos from like actors and people.
That's so unnecessary.
Cara Delevingne, Quinta Brunson, Kyle Mooney from SNL.
Like, why?
A bunch of other people.
I'm going to watch it, and I'm sure I'll like it, but I am complaining.
Oh, and is this who I think it is? Yeah, Jillian Bell. Okay, I really like her.
I like her, too. I like her, too.
Okay, well, are you ready for our next story, number 3?
I am.
Some Pete Davidson news out of nowhere. A couple things. Pete Davidson checks into rehab for the second time this year after a secret relationship with the Bachelor alum Maria Georgas.
I thought he was doing well. Like, he was getting his tattoos removed. I thought he'd been like offline for like this whole year, kind of like in a rehab of sorts.
Yeah. So, and he was dating Madeline, and then they broke up and he went to rehab, and then apparently for the last few months he's been dating Maria from The Bachelor, and then he went to rehab in Florida fairly recently. He's in pretty bad shape, and he's just not in a good place, and I guess he ended things with Maria. I'm really focused on like the Maria of it all because I really like that relationship.
And I feel like it's rare for him to date someone and we not know about it.
Right. And we're really getting into the era. For so long it was like male reality stars with female celebrities, but now we're getting like the female reality stars with male celebrities, and I'm so here for that.
You'd love to see women in male-dominated fields.
Yeah, you really, really do. So I guess it didn't work out. Probably not the right time for him, but I could see it.
I really wish him the best. I feel like he's a perfect example of like everybody looks at fame and they're like, I want it, I love it, yeah. And like I think for him it was really destructive, like to be that level of fame. But he wasn't even famous for like his skill, right? He was just like famous for I don't even know what. And I think that like it was really destructive. And I feel bad for him. Like I seriously just wish him the best.
But also like for his comedy, that's how he like got famous. He was the youngest cast member on SNL, like maybe too young. Maybe he got this all like too fast, too soon, and it's like hard for him to find a way to live a happy life.
Like balance. Yeah. And the whole thing was happening while he was living with his mom. Like it was all so quick and bizarre. And I seriously just wish him the best.
Yeah. I hope that this like is the most effective treatment.
Yeah, me too.
Are you ready for our next story? Mm-hmm. Kind of like crazy news. Not crazy news, just like a weird story. So Cynthia Erivo went on Armchair Expert, and Dax Shepard asked her if her Talon nails get in the way when she wipes.
No, he did not.
Yeah, and it's kind of like an awkward exchange. So while appearing on Armchair Expert,
what did you say? Her what nails?
Her Talon nails, because she has those really long fingernails.
What does Talon mean?
Talon. It's like a claw almost.
I'd never heard that word before. But you're just talking about like regular long acrylic nails, but like hers are super long.
Yeah, like it's the super long Khloe Kardashian, Sheena Shea nails.
Yeah. Okay.
So while appearing on Armchair Expert, he asked Cynthia if her long Talon nails make it difficult to wipe her behind after going to the bathroom. Before he even finished asking the question, she knew exactly what was coming. She said, "I knew you would ask that question," adding that no one's afraid to ask it. She said, "My answer is that nobody uses just their fingers to wipe their backside. You use tissue, correct? And you wipe." He then rephrased his question, saying, "Does the tissue go on the tip of the fingernails?"
It's a good question. Or on your palm.
Or do you try to get the tissue, and she said, pads of the fingers. He said, great. Now we're getting somewhere. Then you're just feeling the little... He said that you're just feeling the little tickle of the nails on the crack of your butt sometimes.
Right.
She said this was not the case because she uses tissues. After joking that he would make a mitten out of toilet paper if he had nails like Cynthia.
That's funny.
He asked her if she was offended or annoyed by the question. She said, "I'm annoyed by it. I'm like, come on, guys, but I get it. But it's also like, I'm a functioning adult and I've never walked around smelling like you know." And Shepard felt that because everyone thinks Cynthia smells so good, it begs the question, how are you wiping your tush? She said, very well.
Okay, here's the thing. Such a funny question. I could see it like falling on asking like he was asking the wrong person, because I feel like what we've gathered about Cynthia is like she takes herself really seriously.
She's a little humorless.
She is a little humorless. So the fact that she engaged, like actually I have a lot of respect for, because I could see her like shutting down the question or actually walking out. So the fact that she played along, and then when he asked like, what did you think of that question? And she answered honestly. Like I feel like this was actually a really good exchange for Cynthia Erivo. Like she handled it. And we all do wonder, and I have to say, like, in my life, like 2 or 3 times, I have gotten really long acrylic nails, and I can attest to what Cynthia's saying. Like, you just make it work. Like things that people can't even fathom, like opening a soda can. Like you use this part of your finger, like you use your knuckle. Your body and your mind have a way of figuring things out. Like it's like she's not wiping her ass with her fingernails. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's a good question, because I think people really often wonder it, and
when
I'm really
those
impressed.
Nails, I think their mind first goes to like, how do you wipe your butt?
I think of how do you pick your nose first.
You don't think you pick it with expert precision?
No, because when they're that long, like you no longer have control. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, you don't have control. It's not a part of your body.
Exactly. Like you can't feel when the nail is touching something. You don't even know if you're doing it right.
Yeah, that's true.
So I don't think of butt wiping, but it's on the top 3, 4, 5 things, I think. First, I always do nose picking and like typing.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't have these nails, but like this question would bother me just because like I just don't think Cynthia, she's just like such an acclaimed talent. She's talking about poop, like that part.
You don't want to picture. You don't want people picturing you wiping your tushy and making a duty. Like it's gross,
right? And then the idea that like you've got duty on your fingernails, like it's just not how you like. I just don't even want to go there.
I've also never listened to Armchair Expert. And like, I didn't know that that's what they were doing over there. And like, now I'm intrigued. It sounds funny.
Yeah, she also made a really fire point, and she said, here's the thing. There are people who do not have nails who need to check how they're wiping.
Facts. Oh, okay. Like, this is a good moment for Cynthia Erivo. I think she's coming off looking really good, honestly.
Yeah. No, she's turning the tables, and it's just funny.
That is funny. It's so true. Like, and as somebody who has experienced a first trimester of pregnancy, I have a very low bar now for people who have like bad hygiene. I'm sorry, there's really no excuse for you to be smelling the way that you're smelling. Like in this modern time, like unless you seriously don't have a place to live, and I'm not talking about people like that. I'm talking about people who have showers in their homes and choose either not to use them or don't know how to effectively use it. I have no grace for you. Like there's absolutely no reason that you should have body, unless you came from the gym, like you just showing up to work with bad breath, body odor, like stop.
What's more offensive to you, to your nose right now? Like bad natural body odor, like, and not like horrible stink, but like, you know, a little smelly, or like fragrance, nasty perfume, nasty body wash, like overwhelmingly like smelly, fruity shit.
Yeah, I find like manufactured fragrances to be more offensive than somebody's armpits.
Yeah.
But I also don't see a lot of people. That's like kind of what I've been doing. So nobody around me, like I actually haven't experienced a lot of body odor except in the streets. Like when you're walking past, and New York City is a very tough place to be in a first trimester. City. It is a smelly city. There's a lot of humanity. There's a lot of people, a lot of crowds, lots of food trucks, food carts, a lot of different fragrances. And seriously, it also so much trash on the street. Like you would die. It is not for the faint of heart.
No, you do need fresh air. You should like go see some trees, get a little CO2.
1,000%. And that's why like actually I feel that the air when on my balcony is more fresh than the air on the street. Like if I need fresh air, I'll go to the balcony.
That tracks. You should also go to the park. There's a lot of trees in the park.
I've been going to the park. Yeah.
A lot of trees in the park. The park is really expertly designed.
Yeah, it is.
You should watch New York by Ken Burns. That's what I watched when I was pregnant.
Okay.
Just a little something. Everyone should watch
Take
it
the edge
if you
off.
have like any modicum of curiosity about the history of New York.
I don't not.
I think you would like it.
Sure.
Just switch it up.
Yeah,
Are you ready?
I just did something different.
Are you ready for our fifth and final story, which is something else you could watch soon that would switch it up?
Yeah.
And actually, like last night when I was just like trolling for something to watch mindlessly, like this is what I wanted to be watching.
What?
Because Carrie Underwood's concert special will be coming to Hulu.
Love.
8-time Grammy winner Carrie Underwood will give audiences a front row view of her Las Vegas residency show in a concert special set to air on Hulu in January. Carrie Underwood reflection. It's fine because in December we get like the nonsense Christmas and like all that. So and the live adoption with Josh Groban.
Josh Groban, correct.
The way I need to set a timer for that.
I got to put it on my YouTube TV to record it.
Carrie Underwood reflection features her greatest hits from nearly 20 years as an award-winning international recording and touring artist, including 14 number one hits and songs from her 8 studio albums.
I love this. This like genre of television where it's like concert DVDs, we need more of. And I feel like only the big ones get it. Like we know Beyonce, we know Taylor. Like I need more. I love them. I happen to have loved the Ben Platt one. Olivia Rodrigo just did one. Like we need more of these. I love concert movies. And I don't need like in between songs, seeing them backstage getting ready, talking about the process. No, I just want the whole concert filmed.
Yeah. I need to, you know what? I'm fucking doing it. I'm starting my content playlist. I don't know, because last night, like, I really needed it. And now I can remember, like, search concert DVDs.
Concert movies. You did want to watch Nobody Wants This. And I feel like people can remember better. Sound off in the comments. What has Jackie been meaning to watch?
Every day I say, I'll add it to my list. And then I texted Claudia last night, what's on my list? And we came up with nothing. Concert movies.
What's so great is while that was the Fast Five, it's just getting started, you guys. Keke Palmer.
The show is far from over.
The show is far from over. Keke Palmer is about to join us. You are going to love the episode. You can watch it on YouTube. You can also watch it, listen to it as a podcast. She joined us. She was amazing. If you like what you hear, check out her book. It's called Master of Me. It comes out today. So you'll be able to get it if you're like a Kindle user immediately, or, you know, check it out on Amazon. Our Keke Palmer interview is brought to you by Caraway. So Caraway is one of our favorite brands when it comes to kitchenware, bakeware, really anything for the kitchen. Cookware, excuse me. So with fall being in full swing, Caraway is really getting us into the seasonal spirit, but in a non-toxic way. So you can ditch the chemicals with Caraway. Caraway Home's non-toxic kitchenware features a chemical-free ceramic coating, so it lets food be prepared with peace of mind that no hard-to-pronounce chemicals will leach into your healthy ingredients. And this is the season of stews, of chilies, of really home-cooked, hearty meals. And when it comes to Caraway, their pots, their pans, their food storage. What else do I have? I have so many of their, like, what are the words I'm looking for? Like,
baking dishes?
Gadgets. I have those too.
Gadgets. I use their bread loaf tin. I used it yesterday.
Oh, I didn't know that they had one.
The loaf slides right out.
I love that. Like, they've really thought of everything. And anytime I need something new for my kitchen, now I just go to Caraway. Like, if they make it, I'm getting it from Caraway. In addition to the non-toxic, which is fabulous, no toxic materials like PFAs, PTFE, any hard to pronounce chemicals. It's also easy cooking. So the ceramic's naturally slick surface means minimal oil or butter are required for slide off the pan eggs and easy cleaning. They are super well loved. Over 65,000 people have rated 5 stars about their Caraway kitchen products. And with the holidays being closer than ever, get their gift or yours in time. Visit carawayhome.com/toaster10 to take advantage of this limited time offer of up to 20% off your next purchase. Again, that's carawayhome.com/toaster10 to get new kitchenware before the holidays. Caraway, it's non-toxic cookware and it's made modern. Today's episode is also brought to you by Skylight Frames. I feel like this is the brand so many people this time of year are like, wait,
yes,
what's the Skylight Frames code? Because it's the best gift. So if you are looking for a Skylight frame, which is probably the most gorgeous, most user-friendly digital frame on the market, we obviously have a code with them. You can, if you're missing someone this holiday season, it's such a great gift for somebody who lives far away, or even just for yourself. I think it's so beautiful. If gifting isn't your love language, you're overthinking it, you wind up with something disappointing or really buying nothing at all, the Skylight frame is like 9 times out of 10 going to be the perfect gift for anyone in your life, especially like a family member, a grandmother who lives far away. If you have kids and, like, you know, their aunties don't see them because their mothers moved to Florida, like things like that. Check out the Skylight frame. It's super easy to use. The setup takes less than 60 seconds. You can invite family and friends to share photos easily via their free app. You can add new photos straight from your phone. You can do it from anywhere, and the touchscreen is such a game changer. You'll be able to swipe through the photos, tap to see new photos that are sent. There's a little heart button. It'll send like a little thank you to the sender. It's really beautiful. The photos are displayed in HD resolution. You can choose from 5 different frame styles and 2 different sizes. So the original 10-inch, or they have the larger 15-inch gallery frame. It looks perfect. It's really better than social media. And now, as a special limited time offer for our listeners, you can get $20 off your purchase of a Skylight frame when you go to skylightframe.com/toast. That's SKYLIGHTFRAME.com/toast. Get $20 off your purchase now at skylightframe.com/toast. Today's episode is also brought to you by Ro and the Ro Body Program. So, medications for weight loss are kind of taking the world by storm. Literally, nobody is a bigger advocate for them than me. Completely changed my life. And I think that a lot of people want to get into them, but they don't know how to start, how to ask their doctor. Like, it can be really intimidating and also really expensive. And Ro is providing access to the most popular weight loss shots on the market. They are pairing a weekly shot with healthy lifestyle changes so you can lose 15 to 20% of your weight in a year on average and actually keep it off. Over 250,000 people have already chosen Ro to help them lose weight. And if you become a Ro member, you have support throughout the process. So the partners handle all of the insurance paperwork to help you get your medication covered. And if you're eligible for the medication, patients have access to their provider on demand for any questions they might have. You can sign up online from the comfort of your own home, which means no scheduling a doctor's appointment, no commute to the doctor's office, and no waiting rooms. And I think that people are often, you know, they don't end up doing one of these medications because they feel like embarrassed to ask their doctor, especially in person. It can be like a little awkward. And doing it all online with Ro, like, oh my God, just takes so much of the awkward socialization elements out of it. Average weight loss is 15 to 20% in a year in conjunction with healthy lifestyle changes. BMI and other eligibility criteria do apply, so go to ro.co/toast. Sign up today. You'll pay just $99 for your first month and $145 a month after that. Medication costs are separate. That's ro.co, ro.co/toast, ro.co/TOAST. Thank you to all of our sponsors. And just like, let's take a moment to acknowledge like this moment. Keke Palmer on the toast. Like, we'll never have this again. I mean, hopefully she'll come back.
We can always go back and list it again.
Of course. And I filmed it at this new studio that I loved in New York. Like, me and Keke just look gorgeous. Like, I found this new studio and I'm obsessed with it. So you guys, I saw someone be like, is this AI generated? It is. Like, it literally is. I look insanely gorgeous.
That's always like the nicest compliment. Someone be like, this looks like AI. I'm like, well, thank you.
Thanks, I'm just gorgeous.
Thanks, I'm just like a perfect piece of technology.
Correct. So you don't have to go anywhere. Keke's about to start. Enjoy the episode, you guys. We love you and we'll see you tomorrow.
Love ya. Bye.
Welcome back to The Toast. Today's such an amazing day because we are joined by someone who was added to our dream guest list about a year ago. And she's actually the first person to make it off the list and onto the podcast. So please welcome to the show, Keke Palmer.
Hey, girl. How y'all doing?
This is really exciting for us. I actually don't know how to properly introduce you. Like, if you're in the back of a taxi and the driver says, what do you do for a living? Like, how do you even answer that?
I usually just keep it simple and say I'm an entertainer.
A multi-hyphenate.
Multi-hyphenate. I just try to keep it short, you know.
Now, I don't know if you know this is actually not our first time meeting. Yeah, let me tell you. When I was in college, I was an intern, kind of like an amazing intern at AOL Build. Do you remember that?
Yes.
And you came in and I was so dazzled by you. Obviously, I grew up watching you. You've had like an enormous impact on both Jackie and I. And you were so lovely back then and you were so lovely today. And I was just like, so it's really nice to see people. You know, you never know when you're meeting someone. They could be having a day. You have always been like so bubbly and exactly how someone would want you to be. And so it's so nice to be a fan of yours and then get to experience that in real life because you really are like a delight.
Girl, that made me just smile so big. Thank you.
No, it was like one of the best days, and that was seriously like one of the worst internships of my life. Like, hated every minute, but it was so much fun because you would see a lot of celebrities coming in there, and people could be, you know, unique in a green room when when no one's watching, and you were just lovely. Really,
oh, that makes me so happy. You're being such a Cancer lover, girl. I really
we connected about our horoscopes.
We were just talking about horoscopes. What's your sign?
I'm a Virgo,
and what does that mean?
And honestly, Virgo and Scorpio are like, you know, you guys are our evil twins.
Oh, wait, so we're good or we're not?
Good or bad?
No, Virgos are the saints. You guys are
okay, the sinners, got it. Yeah, all of this
so we're like
truly
similar.
means nothing to us.
I know, I love that it doesn't, because usually the girls are always into astrology. We kiki about it.
Mercury.
So I love that you guys are like, oh, no.
You know, we prefer to talk about, you know, current events, things like that.
Right. Come on. You're not like the other girls.
We are not like the other podcast hosts. Like, we have serious conversations.
I love that.
But Keke just told me I'm a water sign, and up until now, that's like been a core tenet of your personality, Claudia. So I'm kind of coming for you.
I love to swim.
Yes, I'm pretty sure Scorpio, Cancer, Pisces, all water signs. Virgo, Capricorn, Taurus, Earth signs.
This changes things.
Everything.
Fire signs.
This changes everything.
Now, we're so honored to be here because we know you're doing a lot of press. You have a second book coming out. It's called Master of Me. It comes out today. My question for you is, like, first of all, you do so many things, right? You sing, you dance, you do pretty much everything, host, act. Why a book and why a second book?
Well, you know, I have a really close relationship actually with my book agent, Lacey, and she was such a integral part of obviously writing my first book and that process. And so we talked a little bit about if I were to write another book, I think maybe like 5 or 6 years later, and I was just kind of like, no. And then after becoming a mom and just, I mean, turning 30 is such a big thing as well.
Just happened to me.
Girl, just different revelations. And it sounds so crazy because age is nothing but a number, but you know,
it's a lot.
It's a lot. A lot of time has gone by. You start thinking about things differently. Like, you genuinely change. Your frontal lobe has had 5 years to really get into it.
Frontal lobe.
And you're ready to get it going. And so at that point, I thought to myself, I think I do have something to say now. So ultimately, it's just me feeling like I have something to offer.
Yeah. Can I ask you what your relationship with turning 30 was like? Like, for me, it just happened. It was hard. I'm like, especially when you do this for a living, like, it's a young gal's game. And so 30 takes you to like a new year.
Yeah.
It was a lot. And I think in Hollywood, they have like a very similar obsession with youth.
For sure.
How did you turn 30?
I think I'll be honest that it definitely is like, okay, how does this now affect how people view me? I think age can feel fine to you, but you always wonder how other people then are going to view you based on age. So I'm not like unaware of that, but at the same time, I was going through so much. I had just had a baby.
Right.
I was trying to figure out if I wanted to do a big party, if I didn't want to do a big party. I just, you know, all the feelings that come with like after, what do they call it? Postpartum,
right?
Post baby. I was also going through. So it was a bunch of mixed emotions. I would say that first year into 30, like 31, now being 31, I can say that I really prefer 30s over 20s.
Oh, really?
Without a doubt.
Why?
I feel like the 20s, it was just like so crazy, and I didn't know what was going on, and everybody was getting on my nerves, and so many friends were lost, and so many lovers. It was just too much.
Come and gone,
Come and gone, girl. At 30, I feel like, hold up, wait a minute.
Stable.
I'll get back to you when I can.
Yeah.
Hey, boo.
Settled.
You know what I mean? It feels more set. I feel more at ease. I have more of a peace to me.
Yeah.
I think can only come with age.
I like that. Do you think that also comes with, because I feel like that's what happened to Jackie. Like, when she became a mom, she became so much more settled and like not so, like, I'm so rattled by things. Like, you cannot rattle this bitch. Like, do you think that's part of it too?
How old is your baby?
I have a 2.5-year-old and a 1-year-old.
Oh, what a blessing. I love the little twos, both 2, under 2. Yeah. Amazing. So wait, how did I feel? I do think motherhood did that to me in a lot of ways. It gave me a lot of peace because it gave me perspective. when it was just me, it was very much so too much me. Everything was personal. It was hard to be objective about situations in terms of like how much I wanted to give myself to things. But when you have a kid, or at least for me, when I had my son, it became very easy to know what was needed and what wasn't needed. Because if it took from me or made me feel in a way that I thought I couldn't provide the best energy, space, and whatever for my son, then I just walk away from it. And it just lets you know that nothing truly is the end of the world as long as your kids are fine. Like, if my kids are good, honey, I'm good. That's when things are getting crazy. But if my kids are good, then life is really not a trouble.
No, I think that's a really good litmus test. Like, the bar is now so different for you. Like, so like how you feel, like, are your kids good? Then you're good.
Literally. And that's a great feeling. I'll be honest, like, life sometimes feels so me. And, you know, there's an amount of selfishness that you need to survive and be great. But also it feels really good for me personally to pour into something else. I've always poured so much into my career, and I always will. I feel so purposeful in that. But knowing also that, like, I can give to my son and that child is so worthy of everything that I can give, it also feels awesome. It puts a lot of pressure off of me and what I think I need to achieve.
Yeah, but it also gives you a reason for like doing what you're doing. Besides just like success and money and fame, like, no, you're like building something for your son.
Yes,
yeah, I love that.
For that.
Now, let me ask you a question, because when Jackie and I were talking about like what we needed to talk to Keke about, we didn't even know where to start, right? Like, you have really been such a positive influence, of course, starting with True Jackson VP.
VP.
I did want to know, what do you consider like your big break?
I consider 2.
Barbershop?
For different reasons. Well, I mean, now I could say 3. Barbershop, because it broke me into the industry, right? And that's kind of like the hardest thing to get off the ground.
Yeah.
It's like just a part, a role, something where you can say lines. I didn't realize how difficult that was, but, you know, I did after experiencing more of the industry, and everything doesn't always happen that fast.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think Barbershop 2 was definitely a big break. But when I think about my break of, like, people knowing my name, the first one would be Akil and the Bee, but it was like
so
a slow
good.
burn. Thank you
like,
so
seriously,
much.
they don't make movies like that anymore. Like,
Oh!
literally, that movie, I'm obsessed with. Whenever it's on cable, I'm always watching it.
Girl, thank you. Akil and the Bee was absolutely a slow burn, meaning it was popular a bit when it came out in the industry, but it really didn't become popular until years and years.
No, they like started putting it all over cable, like E movies we love. It's always the E movie we love. Like, I agree. I don't even remember seeing it when it first came out.
For that.
No,
they're right for that.
No, absolutely nobody really watched it when it came out. It was kind of like it was kind of like, oh, the movie bombed.
Right.
But then like
It was a sleeper.
Yeah, it was yeah, remember that when they would call things? Yeah, it was a sleeper hit. And so that would I would say was a big break in the industry. And then over time, it became like something I was known for. But the thing that put Keke Palmer on the map, like, boom, was True Jackson VP.
I mean,
after that, my life changed, honey.
You had to be there. Like, that song, SONVP, like, so good. We used to watch it all the time, like, seriously obsessed.
Oh my gosh.
And you know what's so funny about you? Because I feel like we've been talking a lot in the culture about child stars, right?
Yeah.
Like, there's
Yeah,
all these
we actually
documentaries. And you're one of the few people who kind of did both when it comes to like Nickelodeon and Disney. I feel like there's been like there were always like 2 separate worlds, right? 2 separate channels. But you were in Jump In with Corbin Bleu. You kind of did both. And I feel like you're literally like the only person to have ever done that. Do you have different like takeaways? Did you like one more than the other?
Oh, that's such a good question.
That is.
So I'll say Disney is really amazing when it comes to not only the storytelling that you see on screen, but the storytelling even within the company. Like, they are storytelling through marketing, through the employees,
clothes,
people got pins in the office. Like, they are literally a whole like universe, and I think that feels really good, especially when you're a kid, because the magic doesn't end. So there's an element of being a part of it that I think feels really, really fun. I would say that when it came to Nickelodeon, they definitely, like, their paying was really awesome. You know what I mean? Like,
really?
Yeah, and different things like that.
That's so interesting.
What else did I like about working with Nickelodeon? I don't know. I think theirs was a little bit more, I don't want to say clinical, because they both have a clinical, they're both corporations, but Disney has a way of making you want to be a part of it, even if it's like, you know,
kind of like a cult. Right? That's how you make it sound.
You could describe it as that, except, you know, no bad
all
things.
positive, all positive.
All positive. But yeah, Disney has a way of, you just want to, it feels like, I need to be here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It feels like something you want to be a part of, where Nickelodeon is kind of like, come in, get this check.
Right. It's
you
a
know,
job.
It ain't about making it necessarily exciting.
Yeah,
that's except
funny.
for that slime. But when it gets all of your hair and stuff, boo.
You've been slimed.
Oh my gosh, one day, we were doing this big promotional thing for like all the new shows that were coming to Nickelodeon, and we had to get slimed. But obviously when you're filming things, you don't just film it once, you film it multiple times.
Dreadful.
Sweetie, And this was like in the weave era. This is not even like the wig era. If this was the wig, more of the wigs, then it would have been fine.
Of course, you should get a new wig.
I just take it off, put the wig on.
Yep.
Honey, this was in the weave era. So when I tell you that they slimed me, then they had to wash all of it out. I was like under the dryer for hours. Then I had to get slimed again. Oh, honey, I hated that slime after that. It was too much.
That is so funny. Well, you're actually, and like I was saying, we talk a lot about child stars because I think a lot of child stars end up writing books, much like you. And one of our favorite books to reference, like Jeanette McCurdy's book, Josh Peck from Nickelodeon, his book was amazing. And they talk a lot about why child stardom has the reputation that it does, right? And so much of like what Josh Peck had said that really like left I think an impact on us is like so much of it has to do with like your parents' involvement. And then Jeanette McCurdy sort of said that too because like her mom kind of, and the book goes on about like whatever. I'm not going to get into it. But you have really ended up not only having such a long career, but you seem like so sound of mind, well-adjusted. And I'm curious like what you attribute that to because you were in the trenches with everyone else.
That's a good question. What do I attribute it to? I don't want to say just my parents because I don't think everybody has, what is a terrible parent. You know what I mean? I think everybody's doing the best they can. And I did have problems with my parents during that time of just them not understanding what I was going through. And so it wasn't totally peachy keen, but I do think that my parents did a really great job trying to explain to me what it was I was doing at these companies so I didn't take things personal. I think how they make you feel about yourself and how that, your work and what you receive and what you don't receive, how that is connected to your esteem are really important things to talk through. I think my mom did a really good job trying to help me process those things. But I also attribute like other people in my life. Like I remember when I was about 17, I was like, I'm done with my parents. They don't understand me. Like I can't do this anymore, yada, yada, yada. And I emailed my attorney. He's still my attorney to this day. He started out being my attorney when I was 12 years old. I said, look here. My parents, they're done. I'm ready to be emancipated.
So true,
oh my God.
I was like, honey, I'm ready to be emancipated. I'm done with them. They're gone. They're out of here. And he was like, Keke, there are other ways to deal. You don't have to do it this way. Maybe your parents and you just need to do therapy. There are other things that can happen. Like you don't need to go this route. And obviously, like as an attorney, somebody that's making money off of me, it would probably be great for me to get emancipated. Like it would be a great
Think of the
thing.
hours.
Yeah, like it would be great. It would be, you know what I mean? But he really urged me to not run away from the hardship of kind of being the first in my family to have this kind of be in this kind of situation, have this kind of financial overflow and freedom, and how that affected our relationships. Make a long story short, he has that conversation with me. I'm like, okay, Ken. He's like, honestly, a lot of people experience this more than you know. You'll be fine. A couple of weeks go by, and I'm on the set of True Jackson VP, and I get a call from this like really, really obscure number. And I'm like, what obscure like this is weird. I'm not answering this. I go work, I come back, and I see there's a voicemail left from this same number. And okay, let me play it. Hey, Keke, it's Will. We're over here doing Karate Kid with Jayden. I just want to let you know I talked to Ken. He let me know everything you're going through, and I want you to know sometimes it's hard being the first, but you'll get through. Just keep staying focused, love on your family, and y'all gonna be good. I gotta get back. Will Smith, girl.
Wait, that's so crazy.
It was so insane.
And you didn't pick up.
I did not pick up. I couldn't believe, because the number was like a Hong Kong number. It was like, I was like, I ain't never seen no number like this before. Like, who's this calling me? I didn't know. And then when I listened to the voicemail, I'm like, oh my gosh. And it was just like Will being like, look.
That's so sweet.
It's something that happens when you're stepping out. And you could be a child entertainer, or you could be the first person in your family to go to college or the first person in your family to get married, or the first person. There's so many firsts that can happen as the generations of your family continue to grow and evolve. And this was like a difficult thing for me that I felt meant that I had to throw my family away.
Right.
And so I've always had, I think, a lot of people, whether they're notable names or they're my attorney who you guys don't know, that I had a good community, that also my parents made sure I was around, that would encourage community and not like dissension and us breaking apart, which I think honestly a lot of times happens when you're a kid entertainer, because people want to make money off of you and they don't want you close to your family.
Yeah, that's the thing, is like money makes it so complicated.
It does.
And so as a mom, how do you feel like if your kid ever said to you, like, I want to be an actor, a child actor?
I mean, I would totally be fine with it. I would be fine with it. I definitely am ready to be a stage mother. You're not going to overwork my son. He's getting all his cooking money.
100%.
I think I would just really explain it to him the same way that I would explain it to my child if they want to do soccer or if they want to play baseball. I do believe finishing what you said you would do. I think I come from a family of that, which is also what was so difficult, deciding that I wanted something to do, like that I had a craft or a thing I wanted to focus on or I had a passion of, because they definitely enforced discipline, which sometimes was like, okay, wait a minute, but I am so much better because of it. So I would encourage that and be like, no, son, if you said you're going to do it, we need to do it.
Yeah.
But other than that, I mean, I would just have a really clear conversation about what it means to say you're going to show up for something.
Yeah. Like that's just like an overall life lesson, I feel.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Good lesson.
Jax,
yeah.
what if
Are
you're
there any practices that you think that should be in like the child entertainment industry that would yield better results for child actors going forward? Like anything you wish you had on set growing up?
I think that there should be therapists on set. I also don't think that everybody should be making money off the child. I know that sounds weird, but I guess what I'm ultimately saying is like when you're paying for everything, it's hard to trust everybody.
Yeah.
When somebody is making money off of you, you don't really know if they're telling the truth or not.
They have an interest.
They have
getting you back to work.
Exactly. So I think there should be people that aren't being paid from the child, that aren't connected to the child's payroll.
Yeah.
Whether that's a therapist that is paid through SAG or whatever that it can be, support for the children that is unbiased.
Yeah.
Is important.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's really tough because when you're a child, you're trying to figure out who you are and what you want to be, and all you have is your parents to trust. But then, not to say all parents can't be trusted, but some of these parents can't be trusted.
Of course.
You don't know. And so it's really difficult to be a child and have to have such a mature and objective thing about things. There's no way that your innocence is not lost.
Yeah.
Your innocence is going to be lost. It's just what happens. And so if there's somebody that can help guide them through that, then I would say, that kind of person, a therapist or someone like that.
Yeah, that's a good point. We're the same age, and something you wrote about in your book I felt like was so relatable. As Jackie and I grew up, like, we love TV. I mean, we do pop culture for a living. Like, so many of our like family like favorite experiences revolve around movies and TV shows. And you were explaining, and I thought this was so interesting, that like in certain like traumatic things you'd been through in your life, you were really only able to understand what was happening to you because you saw it in a movie or a TV show.
Yes.
Like when you were saying that you saw an episode of SVU about like a child being abused, like that was like the first time in your life you realized like that was actively happening to you.
Yes.
And I thought that was really powerful because I think a lot of people our age who grew up like watching a lot of TV, I think that's how we like, it informs how we see the world and how we like learn things. And then that Laura Dern movie, and it helped you realize that you were in like a relationship that was a little, I thought that was so interesting and like really very self-aware of you to realize.
Oh, wow. Thank you. I think I've always wondered, like, what is it that ultimately leads me to love the things that I do? And it's coming from a place of service. And I think that art with intention can be very much of service to others. And so in writing this book, I was really trying to articulate like that passion and how it drives my purpose and what that means to me at the core, outside of just being an entertainer, but really ultimately like representing, being a person of the community, showing and sharing stories, being of service of people through my gift, which is performing in this particular way as an artist. And I was going back to some of those first times where I realized the power of storytelling and how it can be of service to so many of our emotions that we didn't even know that we had. Where you can just watch a movie and you're like, oh my gosh, like
that's
did
me.
hurt. Yeah, that's me. Or this did hurt me. Or I never realized that, oh my gosh, this is what I think and what I feel. And the Tale and the Law and Order SVU episode, all those things were a big part of my realization and being able to share and articulate that in the book.
Right, and then it's full circle because you then become a part of movies and TV show that inform how other people see the world. So it's
that shape other people.
It's really, I loved that. I think that a lot of people, I'd never thought about it before, but I'm like, no, I think definitely, like, I understand things that I've been through and different things that I've lived through just because I've seen it played out in a movie or a TV show.
It's so true, and it shapes how we feel and think in society. Like, obviously, like, I feel like even with satire, like, I hate so much how satire has not been like as much of an exciting thing in this era. Like, I think everything is kind of so literal in a lot of ways.
Yeah, it gets lost on like the youth.
Yeah, the satire gets lost. But like when I think about movies like Mean Girls, like at the end of the day, that movie is also saying like, this is growing up
and that's really what it was when we were kids. Oh my God,
you know what I mean? Where it's like people are just like, are you a mean girl or are you just a young woman?
Ooh,
that's what the movie was actually to me was saying, because okay, Regina is outwardly mean, but Lindsay became. Remember when old girl said, "You are a mean girl.
You're a bitch.
You're a bitch."
You're a bitch.
When that's what, and it's so nuanced because the conversation is really like. Everybody is just trying to figure out how to belong.
Yeah.
And sometimes that means you might be mean or you might do things, but it's like the compassion that we then had from seeing Lindsay have that whole thing in the movie gave us the compassion for Regina, where Regina just she was also just a young girl.
She had things going on at home.
Her mama was talking about something. I'm a cool mom. Like, so it's like, I love that too. Like, what is the entry point to talk about something that is important to us?
I'm going to let Jackie ask you, but I do want to say, I feel like, and this is going to be Jackie's foray into all the questions she has for you about Scream Queens. I feel like Scream Queens is kind of like a more modern version for like a younger crowd of Mean Girls.
I think
with the spooky element.
With the spooky element, but I think it talks so much about diversity and inclusion, and I mean, even with my character in the end coming around to Emma Roberts' character, who was totally being racially not correct to Zayday, but then they had that moment, and they were just trying, I think, to put a lot of those things into the forefront and to have those conversations through satire that we otherwise wouldn't have. But Ryan is a king of satire, in my opinion, even with Glee. That whole thing in my mind was so satirical, being in that school and what it means to be a singer. You know what I mean? I think he does that very well when it comes to comedy. I mean, even with Nip Tuck and America,
so good.
All of it has this like heightened element, but there's something else underneath that they're showcasing. And so, I feel like with Scream Queens, it was very much that putting all us up in there together. Leah Michelle, Emma Roberts,
Jackie,
myself,
ask all
Abby
your
Lee.
questions. Like, you don't understand how Jackie is
obsessed.
I will.
I'm due for a Scream Queens rewatch, but you said in your book how like you actually develop a lot as like a human being through some of the roles that you've done. You learn about the character and like teaches you just like a different point of view or like empathy towards that person. So like do you think is the role that has like taught you the most?
The role that taught me the most? That's really hard. I would say, I mean, I don't think it's cliche, but it's probably to be expected. But I think the time in which I did it set the foundation of a lot of the things I believe today. And I think this is also why my parents were so specific about the roles that they let me play as a kid, because they knew that it would also be a reflection of how I wanted to be. Like, I was representing a role for others, but I was also representing characters and roles for myself.
And you like your family.
Exactly. So Akilah and the Bee. I think the foundation of Akilah and the Bee really, like, even when I think about the Marianne Williamson quote, when who are we not to be? Like all of that really set the stage for me and who I wanted to be, and just all those early influences. So I think that role gave me the most.
That's so interesting.
I love that. It's it's just a quality movie. Okay, well, we have a fun little game for you because you're in so many things that we love, and like we could sit and like pick each one and get a recap on each one. But we want to play like for hours, but we want to do like a little word association. Like we're gonna mention a movie or a show and just like what do you associate with that? Like first word that comes to mind.
Okay.
Akilah and the Bee.
Family.
Love that.
Oh. True Jackson VP.
Boss,
yes. Women in business.
She was in business, okay? Come on,
original
she was
girl
representation.
boss. Yeah.
She was the fashion Doogie Howser. Don't play.
Early girl boss.
Early girl. You girl boss like so close to the sun with True Jackson.
That is hilarious.
It's true.
Jump in.
Fun. It was a ball, honey.
You keep in touch with Corbin Blue?
I haven't talked to Corbin in years.
You guys should get together.
I know. I wonder how Corbin has been.
Get those jump ropes out of the...
Now that would be fabulous if me and Corbin went out there and double dutch with y'all.
Oh my God, the internet would seriously not be okay. Wait, sorry, really quickly. Speaking of the internet.
The internet is not okay with everything. Like everything that you do, it's just...
I want to know. I don't... And the reason why I think you're so successful at becoming a meme is because you're never trying. You're really just being yourself. Like you didn't realize, I'm sorry to this man, like was going to become seriously a part of popular culture. When you get out of bed and like you're doing an interview, like even here, like are you worried at all that like the one thing you're saying is going to become a meme, or you just have to like embrace it and like you can't think like that?
I wouldn't say I'm worried, but I'm definitely like, hey, anything can happen. I think that's why, I mean, even before Sorry to This Man, that's something that I think as an entertainer, you're just like, you don't know where this is going, which is why I said that Sorry to This Man, because I was like, look, don't fry me. Yeah, I was like, I'm like, what's gonna happen if I don't know this or that? And so I'm just genuinely being like, hey guys, like this is me, this is what I'm doing, hey, whatever it is, like all love, peace up.
Is there? What do you think is the biggest like meme of yours? Oh, like that was huge. That was huge. Also, the gag. Like you have so many.
Gosh, the gag was such a fun moment in time. What is my favorite meme? I think that honestly, my favorite one, because it feels a little bit like there's two. There's one that's kind of like niche that almost was not even like really started by me. It was like a story about me that became like kind of a copy pasta. Is baby, this is Keke Palmer.
Oh yeah,
that one's so like in the background. But then another one that I like that's also very like low key is this one has a little sweetness to it.
Is that from Hot Ones?
Yes, okay. I love that one because the thing people go so far with it.
You were so crazy on
like
Hot
somebody
Ones.
was like, "Oh, when a mosquito bites a diabetic." Why would you say that? Why do they do that, guys? When they take this stuff out of context, it gives me life.
Well, let me ask you a question. You're like one of the very few people to have ever done Hot Ones more than one time. You've been on it twice, right?
Oh, yeah, I didn't realize that.
Because your first one was so popular.
That one was so crazy.
And you were really on it like before the show blew up. Like now it's super popular, but your episode like was really a part of their come up.
Thank you.
Is it the worst experience on the planet? It looks horrible.
No, let me just tell you, Sean Evans, he's brilliant. He's so awesome. He's such a great journalist, and I love how he created something that was new in art. I mean, I feel like we're all in these different spaces trying to, like, you know, millennials are trying to, we're trying to level things up. We want to come into these spaces and be like, we're bringing something. He crushes it. And so I'm very happy for him and all his success.
Mm-hmm. You are so funny on it.
Oh
like,
my gosh, thank you. I gotta do it again. I done forgot.
You do.
I haven't been back to see my boo.
And they made all those vegan accommodations, right? That was really sweet. Very generous.
I was on a crazy diet at that time. No longer am I. Give me the regular
you're
wings.
Eating the real wings. Okay.
Oh, give me the real wings this time.
Okay, Jackie, sorry. Back to word association.
No. Thank you. Next is Scream Queens. One word.
Crazy. That was such a crazy time and experience. So much was happening with me.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. But also the show was insane because we didn't even get the scripts until like after, like, they would give us the script sometimes the day of. Mm-hmm. Like they were writing the show as we were going. And I think like also like, I don't know, it's just like an interesting thing where I feel like they were also feeding off of us and the conversations with the girls.
And the chemistry.
Yes, trying to really pull those things that, like you said, the satire, but also the real conversations that are happening with when you put a group of girls together that are from different worlds and backgrounds.
Do you think that Lea Michele can read? Do you know that conspiracy theory?
Did they say she can't read?
There's a conspiracy theory on the internet that's largely been debunked because like she just did a Broadway play, like you have to learn your lines. But there is an internet theory that was actually started by like really funny podcasters like a million years ago that caught on like rapid fire that she cannot read, that she's illiterate.
How did they? So wait, where did they pull it from?
They took
what are the
all these different interviews, her Instagram captions. The belief was that Ryan Murphy hires her because he knows her secret and he reads his lines to her so that she doesn't have to ever read a script.
Damn, that's crazy. Why do people do this stuff?
Do you ever see her reading a book on set?
You know what?
Can't say she has.
I don't know if I ever. I mean, don't nobody see me reading a book on set.
Right.
I mean, dang, I know that she can read, y'all. I ain't never seen her reading, but I know that she can read. She's got to.
Keke has officially debunked the myth.
Y'all know that girl can read.
Okay. Thank you.
I'm sure. I believe Lea can read. And I also think if she couldn't, like in the time that the theory has been out, she's learned to read in that time.
So what?
Right.
Shit, some people can't read.
Some people can't do a lot of things.
So
like,
hell,
it doesn't hold them
read,
back.
Mama can't read.
Yeah, agreed.
Tell her what she need to know.
Agreed.
Shit, I'm here for y'all. They don't read. They can't read.
It's true. The illiterate community needs a voice like
That's
yours.
right. They do. We gotta, hold them up.
They do. Next one, we haven't even spoken about this, which is crazy. Hustlers.
Oh my God.
Oh, Hustlers. I mean, the word could either be magical, it could be fabulous, but I would say fabulous mostly. It was a really fabulous time. I mean, I think anything Jennifer Lopez does is quite fabulous. She just brings the fabulosity to anything that she does.
That was such a good movie.
Oh, thank you. And I feel like for me, that movie was really breaking through in comedy in a traditional sense because I had been doing it through socials and really like kind of doing my own content creation and showing people kind of like how I was evolving as an artist. And then when I actually did that movie, I think people saw it like in real time on the main stage.
And that's why last year, I remember when it was announced, Jackie and I were so excited that you were hosting SNL because that's like, first of all, like peak comedy, but you have gotten so far off of like you really like your own talent and your own hard work for so long that seeing you host SNL, you were amazing. Like we expected nothing less, but it was so cool to see someone who like utilizes social media and utilizes all facets of the business, like really get yourself opportunities. And you were amazing.
Oh, that means so much to me. Thank you. I mean, I really do love what I do. Like, I
You're so
love the
funny.
craft. I grew up loving it. It was great to do SNL because it brought that element of stage and TV back, which I only feel like I've gotten through multicam sitcoms, which unfortunately seem like they're not a thing anymore.
Yeah.
And it literally is a stab to my heart. Like, come on, we need more shows. Like, did I do that?
Yeah,
like, we don't have any of that stuff anymore. So anyway, I really loved being able to do that with SNL. And it was just, I mean, going back to my roots and the things I love most about entertainment.
So good.
You talk about in the book how, like, at a certain point in your career, like, you invested in yourself. Like, I think it was around the time that you were doing Scream Queens. Like, was that, like, a conscious choice to, like, focus on, like, the key, really to become a master of you, as the title is, but, like, to focus on your brand and, like, your social media and make that, like, another tentpole in your business?
It was a conscious thing for me, but I also, again, I have a producing partner named Max Wyeth who was working for like Dish Nation at the time, and they would want to do a lot of content for Scream Queens. And at that point, I was already doing my own content, like kind of just having fun because it was the only way that I could showcase ideas and things I wanted to do outside of like asking for someone to give me the opportunity traditionally. So I did it as a way to creatively express. And so then I meet Max Wyeth during Scream Queens. And he, like, a lot of the girls didn't want to do social media stuff with him. But I was always down because I've just always been into, like, social media stuff. And so he and
it's just fun.
Exactly. It was fun to me. And so he and I became, like, really good friends. And he was like, Keke. This is how Max like, Keke, you sound like an old lady. We need to do something called Southern Belle Insults. And I'm like, what the hell is Southern Belle Insults? And that's when we came up with this character, Lady Miss Jacqueline, who we have continued to grow and evolve this character. And then we did Chelsea Barbie Taylor, which I did Turned Up with the Taylors and got my Emmy. And so I really created a camaraderie and a love fest with Max. And that also encouraged me to continue to invest in big ways of my comedy online, because Max would always tell me, he was like, Keke, you can do this. We have to do it ourselves. Don't be afraid. Like, let's go. And like, it really has made a difference in my career. So I always think it's important to say, because I don't do everything alone.
Yeah, of course.
You know, I take a step and then the people around me encourage me to take a few more steps.
Is there a TV show on right now that you would love to be on, that you watch and love and enjoy?
That's such a good question.
Thank you.
Is there a TV show that I like to be on and I watch and love and enjoy? Love Island, no, I'm saying. Okay, what is the show? I really loved this show that I just watched recently, and I could see myself also being on it. It was called Evil. It's no longer on anymore, but what I like about this show is because it just talked about, like, so it almost sounds like a joke, because it's a priest, a skeptic, and a psychologist, and they're like
Walk into a bar.
Yeah, exactly. Walk into a bar, and they're like literally solving all of these. It's almost like Law and Order SVU, but like spiritual and then like psychological, like
Kind of like Monk.
Yes, I love that type of thing. First of all, I love anything. Hey, honestly, when Olivia Benson retires, I would love
Keke
being a show like,
Benson.
come on,
Keke Benson. We're
Veronica
ready.
Jones.
People aren't ready for it.
We've got to save these kids. She has lost 32 hours and 5 minutes. That's all we've got. John,
So good.
there's one thing I do. We're gonna save this little girl. Just the last thing. Like, I feel
That
like I
kind
would
of sounded
kill
like
that.
your Angela Bassett impersonation.
But it's funny because Angela Bassett, doesn't she do a show like that?
Oh yeah, she does. She does.
911.
All the greats. You got to get on. Like, you need. I love.
You gotta
see
be a
that in my
detective.
future. You know what I'm saying? I see that in my future. Like, am I Equalizer? You know what I'm saying? Am I 911?
Yeah.
Am I Olivia Benson, the detective for the children?
Obsessed.
Like, I could see that 50s,
Detective for the
60s,
children.
baby. I'm sitting at the, or I could be a pastor solving crime. I'm here for something like this.
Oh wait, I'm sorry. I've been sitting here the whole time, and I can't believe I haven't brought this up. Last year at the Christmas tree lighting, you did a song, right? One of those Christmas things.
Of course, with Adam Blackstone.
Oh my God! Like, people don't know, and of course, Bottoms Up. Like, we all knew where we were.
Girl,
We all remember where we were when Bottoms Up came out.
Come on.
You have such an amazing voice. First of all, I love those Christmas primetime specials. I'm like,
It's so
I'm Jewish,
fun.
and I'm like, give me more. I'm obsessed. I was so blown away by your vocals. I've always known that you can sing, but like, you were up there like doing better than some of those professional singers who. I had to just tell you that it was literally the best thing I'd ever heard. You're like the female Michael Bublé. You need to do a Christmas album.
Oh my gosh, I do live for Michael Bublé, and I do think I need to do a little Christmas album. You know, I'm just here for the Sammy Davis Jr. vaudeville of it all, the Judy Garland.
You looked sick.
Thank you. I really just love that old school entertainment, and honestly, it's very theater. Like, it's just all very theater kid down. And it's so funny because when I think about me, Lily, or Ariana, just like a lot of those Nick kids, even the ones that did Victoria's Georgas, Leon Thomas. We all were just very much trying to get to Broadway. It was all so dramatic, and we're ready to sing on a hat. You know, like
That's
it's
so
just
true.
extra. And I think it took a long time for me to realize that was like a lot of how I was trained, because I immediately went into film and TV. But both of my parents did theater, and that's how I fell in love with entertainment.
Yeah, I learned that from your book. I didn't know that you had a theater background.
Yeah, I didn't either until I actually did theater for the first time. I said, oh, this is why my parents trained me like this. I'm actually trained.
You learned so much.
Like a theater, right? I was like, oh, this is so interesting. And so, yeah, honestly, shout out to my parents, because that's how they taught me to see art, like kind of all around. You don't have to do one thing.
I have one final question for you, Jackie. Let me know if you have anything else. I do want to know, what is Keke Palmer's go-to karaoke song?
My go-to karaoke song is always Amor Perdido by...
I'm not familiar. Sing, please, you'll have to sing it. Come on.
Amor perdido, murmuran por las calles, somos de distintas sociedades. Amor perdido nos dice todo el mundo, el dinero no importa en ti, en mí, ni en el corazón. Oh, baby. Y'all know J-Lo played that Roll Down.
No, mine is literally Bottoms Up.
Oh my God.
It's such a good song.
Keke,
We don't talk enough about it.
Why was I doing all that?
No, why weren't you doing more? It was so good.
We had so much fun. First of all, shout out to my sister L'Oreal Palmer. She was LC on Celebrity Fame, Claim to Fame. Anyway, she won.
Oh my God.
She won and she ate down.
I didn't know
she
that.
wrote that song.
Really?
Yeah, she did. We was up in the studio, and
I love that.
My mom would always be in the back like, y'all need to write these songs. Ain't nobody getting no credit. Ain't nobody getting no credit but y'all.
She's so right.
She wasn't playing.
She's
Carrie
right for that.
Drove them music people crazy. She said, my daughters can write. My daughters can write. L'Oreal, go. And we'd be like, ain't it funny saying fun of saying fine. Come on. And she'll be, honestly, she's a little Joe-ish.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But she wasn't cussing us out. She was cussing them out.
Yeah,
so
love
that
that.
was like the better part about it.
Mama Bear.
She was cussing all the execs out, but we was sitting there being like,
Yeah, just sing and do your thing. Don't look at me, I'm the talent.
my mama gonna get you together. Don't play.
Oh my gosh. Well, it has really been such a dream. Thank you
been
so
a
much
toast.
for being here. It's been the toast. Guys, check out Keke's book. It's called Master of Me. You can get it anywhere you get books. It came out today. Good luck with the launch. We're so excited for you. And really just like bucket list dream guest, you are even more than we thought you would be.
Check.
Oh, thank you so much. It's been so awesome hanging out with you guys. And maybe next time I get to see you in person, boo.
Yes.
Totally.
It'd be nice.
Can't wait. Thank you so much.
And by the way, we didn't even talk about it, but check out Keke's podcast. It's so funny. You're such a great interviewer.
a fellow podcaster.
A fellow podcaster. We love to see women in the media.
Okay, we're meteoring.
We are meteoring. So check that out. The book is called Master of Me, and we'll see you guys on the next episode. Love you.
Love
Bye.
ya. Bye.